everybody, welcome to Vlogmas day 4. I'm down here at Aaron's place. I'm here with Aaron. So this morning I went to church with Gunnar, but Aaron couldn't come with us because there's a problem with his chair. One of the wheels won't come off, so we can't get him in the car. Well, not with the chair, because we can't put the chair in the back seat the way we normally do, in such a way that Gunnar can also sit in the car. So it's like, anyway, can't get him to church, so we need to get this chair fixed for next week because we're gonna have a Christmas dinner at church, and you don't want to miss that, right?
No.
So you think you can get an appointment to get your chair fixed?
Yeah.
But you tried calling, and what happened?
I didn't get through.
You didn't get through, and you can't leave a message?
No, it's an extension. So I think I have to go there.
Oh, really? Will they see you if you just show up?
I'll try to get the emergency guy in the van that comes by that'll come to my house.
Oh, that would be great. You'd think that if somebody had a broken wheelchair, there would be a service where they could come by, but you said they only do that for what, electric chairs?
No, they might do it for that. It's small things. It's not like big overhauls or anything, but things like that maybe, yeah.
Okay, well, let's hope that works. Let's get it done, because I want you to be there.
Yeah.
This has been going on for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Total pain. I kind of think that like you just weren't on it, because look, my mistake, maybe, I don't know. I put it in his hands. Like, I decided I'm not going to micromanage this one, and I'm going to let him call to make the appointment for the chair fixing, because you know all about your chair and how to get it fixed.
Yeah.
So maybe you just weren't on it.
Not enough, maybe, but I'll get on it this week. I'll get it done.
Okay. I do a lot of things, right? But I have to also like distinguish sometimes, where am I being Mamere who is doing everything for him? Am I doing something that he needs me to do and it's really helpful for him that I'm doing it? Or am I just like taking over and micromanaging his life, right?
Yeah, well, you don't do that.
No, but that's like when you're in a partner-caregiver relationship like we are, the caregiver has to also like figure out where are they giving care and where are they just like taking everything over, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't let you do that.
Well, no, we try to keep like a healthy balance where it doesn't become like, just because I'm the able-bodied, or more able-bodied, I should say, one that I just end up doing everything, because that'll create a burnout, you know?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't want that.
Because I was thinking like, maybe I should have done it. Maybe I should have been on it and made the appointment for him and made it happen. But sometimes I'm just like, ball's in your court. You take care of it. Okay, so we're going to get that done for next week. Otherwise, Daddy's not coming.
I'll get it done.
Yeah, you don't want to miss the supper at church, so that'll be your motivation.
Yeah, so you went to church today. Was it good?
Yeah, well, we missed worship, but Ben was there, and
Ben was there. Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, so that was good. We went to church, and now I'm here at Aaron's place. I've got my work cut out for me. See, as you see, you guys saw I cleaned this like super well. Look at it. This is like a couple days later, and it's just like, that's just how it is. So there's a lot of cleaning to do. And this part also. So right now I'm making us some minestrone soup, and we're gonna have, where's that good bread? This is the good stuff, the organic brown bread from Costco. So I'm gonna make sure to eat, because you guys, I told you how like I don't really eat very much in the day. I did try intermittent fasting. I know it works for a lot of people, but for me, I found that I was so hungry in the early part of the day that it became difficult for me to like get anything done. I felt like I was running on empty. And then at night, I found it was hard to sleep. It was like my stomach was bothering me. So I tried for like more than a month, and eventually I just realized like, I don't think this is gonna work. So I'm not doing the intermittent fasting, but even without doing intermittent fasting, I pretty much just don't eat very much in the day. Like, I'll just have coffee in the morning, and then I'll go until, well, now it's 2 o'clock before I'll eat anything, and then I'll have my big dinner, and then I won't really eat too much after that. Maybe, oh, it's so dark, maybe just a little snack. But I realize that I have to eat in the day, because otherwise what happens is I'm running on adrenaline, and then I enter like a burnout state, and that adrenaline that was keeping me going in the day stops me from falling asleep at night. Let me know if you've had this experience, if you're doing intermittent fasting or like restricted eating, and then I feel like I'm wired, like I'm tired in the day. You guys saw yesterday I was like exhausted. I get about like 6 hours of energy, and then after that it's like a really major crash, and then I'm like kind of laid up for like several hours in the evening, and then I get a second wind eventually, and then sometimes I'm very wired at night and I can't fall asleep. It's, you know, you'd think it would be simple, but it's not. But let me know what your experience has been with that. So today I'm going to make sure that I do eat something. I'm going to have some toast and soup, because I don't want to be running on adrenaline and then wired up at night. Remember I told you I was upset because the lamp wasn't working? This is a gorgeous lamp. It's a Tiffany lamp that I bought around 1996 from an antique store here in Montreal. And I wanted this lamp so badly, and I remember I was making trips back and forth to the store paying in installments. I think the lamp cost me about $300, and I did not have that kind of money on hand, and I was going back chipping in. Seriously, this lamp was on layaway for months, and I finally got it, and I still have it, and it's gorgeous, and I put it in Aaron's kitchen, and to my great dismay, it's not working. And if you look at the plug, I mean, this is terrible. And apparently the problem is like somewhere inside the wall. I feel like I'm gonna have to explain to you sometime what is the problem with our landlord. Aaron has been living in this building since 1995, in this apartment since 2005. So his rent is very low. And as you see, clearly the apartment, it's not renovated at all. Okay, it's basically not renovated, not even maintained properly. And the reason for that is that when people move out, the landlord renovates the entire apartment, then he rents it. He would probably rent it at like at least, well, about 3 times the rent here, because they jacked up the rents like crazy. So where Aaron is paying about $750, he'd probably rent it for like $2,000. But he only does that when the apartment's empty. So the next person coming in can pay this high rent. When someone is in their apartment, they basically don't do repairs. Unless it was something like a major flood in the kitchen, it's very hard to get them to fix anything. And certainly it's impossible to get them to renovate. Like, for example, this is clearly destroyed, but he will not replace this counter, you know, put in new cabinets. That will not happen. And I think even whatever's going on with the electricity here, like probably they won't fix it. Oh, and the other thing is like they basically just want to make the old tenants as miserable as possible so that we move out. They don't want to make us feel comfortable here because they want us out so they can raise the rent. And that's why. The result is we're kind of forced to live in squalor. You know, as things get damaged, like nothing gets fixed. I mean, look at this wall, you know. Of course, this is from his chair, and that's comes with the territory of having a wheelchair. You tend to run into walls. If you live in surroundings where it's like chaotic and cramped and messy all the time, it does affect you. So basically, we do struggle with that, and I do what I can, but there's like no easy fix, at least not at this point. And some of you guys had said, well, why don't I fix things? Well, I've done a lot of work in here. I just don't think that it's realistic for me to renovate his whole apartment by myself. Like, I don't have the energy or the skills or the time. But I'll show you what I've done. In the bedroom, there was a giant hole, like all the tiles were missing here. This floor was like destroyed. See how they're missing back there? It was like there was a huge hole here. That was me who retiled the floor and sanded it. And in order to do that, because the landlord wouldn't give us new like blocks of tiles, I had to do this. See here I have a box of like all the little bits and pieces of the tiles. And I had to take these individually and sand them down so that they would fit into the square. and then glue them down and then sand them and lacquer them. I did sand this floor not that long ago. I sanded all this and varnished it. I redid all this, believe it or not, even like last year, the year before. I put back all the missing tiles. I sanded it. I varnished it. It looks like this already. This entire area was missing tiles. It's me who retiled all that. This part is more tricky because I'd have to file them down. There was a giant hole here. That's me who plastered it, painted it. It's me who painted the walls. I mean, it needs more paint, needs more coats, but I mean, this was like what I could do. I used the steamer to get the dirt out from in between the tiles, but like as you see, it comes back. These walls, you see, they're partly repainted. They were chipping, peeling, and that's me. I chipped off all the old paint. I replastered. Believe it or not, it was a lot worse before. You see here, there's like a big area. You can see that was me like chipping off the old stuff, replastering. You see here, like there's bubbles in the paint. So I would like take it all out, replaster it, paint it. I can't get these off though, so that made it a lot harder. Over here, it was the same. This entire wall was crumbling. And there was a shelf here. I took off the shelf and then I like manually chipped off paint. And I did my best to replaster, but in the end, the janitor did come in here and he did replaster, but like, as you see, like this is the kind of job that they did. Not very good. And I think, yeah, did he throw paint on it? Doesn't he? Maybe there's some paint. It's hard to tell. So yeah, basically, like I have done a lot, but there's some things that I can't do. And as you guys see, I'm pretty busy, so I don't know about renovating. And look, I just do the best I can. But really, it's the landlord's job. He's supposed to do it. You just can't get him to do it because, like I said, he's basically like, it used to be a crazy slumlord, and he categorically refused to do any even repairs in this apartment because he really wanted to make Aaron miserable, to make him move out. Now, the new landlord, it's not so much personal. It's more like everyone who's been here a long time, he just won't fix things. And actually, the city inspectors came to Aaron's apartment and my apartment, and they ordered the landlord to repair all kinds of stuff. In my apartment, it took a very long time and they repaired most of it. In Aaron's apartment, they refused because of his dog. The dog has now been dead for over a year, but they just won't do it. I don't know what their excuse would be now because there is no dog, so you can't say it's the dog. So I'm sure that people are going to say, well, if your landlord's so bad, why don't you just move? But
Just move, yeah.
It's not so simple as just move. First of all, as you see, Aaron is in a chair. It's not so simple to move when you're disabled. Plus, when you're disabled, any apartment you go in, you have to like make some adaptations, like taking off the frame of the bathroom, moving things out of the way, like the toilet. Moving something like a hospital bed, which is very heavy, is actually quite a big deal. But like all that could be done, especially if you had the resources for it. However, there's another thing, which is that Aaron has a rent subsidy because he's on disability, which doesn't give you very much. Then he has a rent subsidy, which covers not half of his rent, but like, what, 40%? It's pretty good. If he moves, he loses his subsidy and he has to reapply to get a subsidy and take at least 10 years to get a subsidy. So he just loses his subsidy. If he moves, now with the rents being jacked up, the rent would be a lot higher, plus he wouldn't have the subsidy to help him cover that. So you can imagine how difficult that would be. Plus, this is his home. This is his neighborhood. And he doesn't really want to have to move. I mean, why should he have to move? The landlord should just do his job and maintain the apartment. I feel like people judge me for living in squalor. And I can already hear the comments coming in about, why doesn't Aaron move into subsidized housing? Why don't you apply for subsidized housing?
I like it here. It's not that bad. Yeah, the thing is, like I love about this place is it's pretty soundproof.
Yeah.
So you can pretty much make all the noise you want. Somebody's got partiers right next door. They're very loud in the hallway, and then when we go in her apartment, we can barely hear anything.
My neighbors, it's true. Yeah, you don't hear much. It's
Crazy.
True. Yeah. Whereas in the subsidized housing, you hear everything. The walls are like paper thin. They tend to also have a lot of like bug infestations, worse than what we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. What, SLM? But they're so small. And another thing is it takes a long time to get in.
Small and modern, like
small rooms. I've known people who've lived in SLM, and it's not nice. It's like last resort housing. This is a nice apartment compared to an SLM. But the other thing is, if he moves somewhere, they're going to place him. He won't be able to choose where, what neighborhood. So they might place him in the East End. They might place him in Griffintown or wherever. And then what about me? Because I'm his caregiver. I need to be nearby, right?
Yeah.
So then what do? Do I drive there all the time? Do we let the family get split up? Right? Because if you go to subsidized housing and I don't, then Gunner's dad is no longer like almost living with us.
Yeah.
So that's destabilizing for him. It's complicated for me. What about if he falls out of his bed in the middle of the night? Who's going to come and pick him up? I mean, it happens sometimes, right?
Yeah, hardly ever.
Hardly ever, but it does happen. Things happen. Who's going to come and take care of you when you need something? I'm going to like drive out to the East End to the SLM, pick you up.
No, that'd be fucking horrible.
You've had lots of problems where you've called me at like 1 a.m, Sonia, I have an emergency, right?
Yeah.
It happens quite a bit.
Yeah,
So
no,
I'm like on call.
That wouldn't be manageable.
It would be unmanageable, it's true. So those are some of the reasons why he doesn't just apply for subsidized housing.
Yeah. I don't want to leave. I don't want to move.
Yeah, and it would be complicated, and we just have a new set of problems.
Get a nice balcony out there.
Yeah.
A lot of nice things, but like we get lots of sun. The sun comes straight through the window here to see it. It's very bright right now.
Yeah, windows need to be cleaned, but yeah.
Especially at there, it's like the sun is pretty low in the sky, so like there's a lot of sun all afternoon.
As you can see, he enjoys his apartment. And it's actually, these are good apartments. They're just not maintained.
Yeah.
There's so much that's good about where we live. Same for me. I just need one more room to feel like it's not stressfully small. Just one room. I have to just manage with that because there's a trade-off. There's a lot of good things about it. Before I moved in this building, I looked at all the other apartments around here, and basically they were either a lot smaller rooms or a lot more expensive. So that was one of the reasons why I moved into the exact same building. Besides that, it was closest to him, but also like it was good at the time. It's just I could have used an extra room. But the thing is, like, when you look at people and how they live their lives, it's easy to judge, but keep in mind that people have their reasons for why they do things and live a certain way. We have a problem with our apartment, and that really just comes down to that the landlord needs to do his job. So I'd prefer if people didn't judge me, but I realize they're gonna do it. And I guess I just gotta not let it get to me, because we know that we're doing the best we can, and that's just how it is. Maybe someday down the road, some kind of other situation will arise, or we'll have a different opportunity, and we'll be able to have a better living. I mean, maybe, like, ideally what would happen is he would stay in this apartment and it would be fixed, and I would move into another apartment in the same building and had an extra room. With that, I'd be totally fine. That would be perfect. So I need a little more space and he needs maintenance. And really with that, we're 100%, like, that's perfect. Very happy, right?
Yeah.
That would be ideal. We don't need more than that. Well, I'm going to do the bathroom today. I like to give the bathroom a good deep cleaning once a week. This is what I like to use. It's the Mrs. Myers, but I'll tell you, I don't really like the foam. I was actually quite disappointed. I'm always looking for like the perfect product to clean the bathroom. And the best product I ever found, ever, was something by a company called Agro Clean. And they had sent me samples like 10 years ago. And they had a bathroom cleaner that was just incredible. It would just disintegrate all the dirt, but I haven't been able to find it. But if you find the Agro Clean, that's the one you want. Man, that was a miracle product. But for now, I use Mrs. Meyer's, but this is the one that I like better. But I'm gonna use the spray today because I gotta finish up this bottle. We get a lot of marks from his hands that are always black with the tire dirt. This gets so dirty so quickly. I'm gonna do it, and you're gonna see after it's gonna be better, but it won't really be perfect. Jude's Miracle Cloth. I know it's black, but it doesn't matter. It's more tire dirt on there, and it's it would get black anyway. Let's get the bench out of there. Look at this. I mean, really, this, like, every week it gets like this. Every week. Let's see how the Miracle Cloth will do with the Mrs. Meyer's. Ooh, oh, that's easy. Look at that. I think I found the winning combo. Supposed to be chemical-free clean, but sometimes I do use some chemicals. I'm using the Mrs. Meyer's with the Miracle Cloth because they say not to use cleaners with it. But yeah, like I combined the two, and now I'm getting really. Now I'm really cooking. Like I'm just wiping it so easily. Like there's no elbow grease, there's no scrubbing, and everything is coming off, and it's so clean. Pass me the Mrs. Meyer's spray. It's right there, please. I'm gonna try it on the, not the bottle. Yeah, that one.
This one?
Yeah, it's clean day. I do love these products, so don't spray me with it. Not nice. I do love these products though, but my favorite is the red mint. I think it's peppermint. That has the most unbelievable smell. Oh my God, like the whole house smells like Christmas. The whole the whole house smells like candy canes. Oh my God, look at this disaster here. Okay, let's see what I get when I do the tub with the Mrs. Meyer's plus Jude's Miracle Cloth. Let's see if I can get a good crime scene cleanup. I don't think it's going to be as good as the walls. The walls were super easy, but this is heavy duty because this is actually stained, and no, well, it's coming, but it's not. No, you can see it's not going to be as good as I'd hoped. You know, sometimes I'm so frustrated with what's out there on the market for cleaning products that I thought I might have to make my own. I need to make something that uses the power of essential oils to really disintegrate everything. Here's the big reveal for the bathtub. So it's not perfect, but it's a lot better. So the winning formula in the end was this Mrs. Meyer's plus the Miracle Cloth. And then after doing the scrubbing with that, I did bleach it. And after all that, that's how this looks, because I guess these are stains. And this is actually like the hardest stain that I absolutely cannot get out. I've tried everything. But I'd say overall, it's pretty good. I have a whole box here of cleaning products that I've tried for the bathroom. This is the other one I use, CLR. So between this and the Mrs. Meyer's. I feel like actually I should throw all that stuff out. This is the best I could do. It's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. Now I have to stop because I feel like I'm nearing the point of exhaustion. So I know from experience that if I don't stop once I start feeling like this, it's going to get a lot worse and it's going to take a lot longer for me to recover. So I'm going to stop for now, and then I'll do some more stuff later. Okay, well, here's my dinner. This is what I'm having tonight. Spaghetti, good old spaghetti. Tonight I'm going to be eating alone because Gunnar just went out with his friends and Aaron is having a nap. So I'm just going to have my dinner and relax, and then I'll do more stuff later. So that's it. Thank you for joining me and for joining me in the chat. I hope you liked the video, and thanks for your support on Patreon, and thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.